Thank you. I fixed the mic. Okay, restart. Chat. I asked you all whether you not wanted a funny racism story or sluttiness story, and you guys unanimously voted for sluttiness. You guys are a bunch of sluts. You guys are a bunch of sluts, and I love you for it. I heckin' love you guys for it. Damn right, you're damn right. But I have a question for you, okay? I have a real question. So I posted this question to my Twitter, okay? Because I was actually seeing a lot of slut hate. I was actually seeing a lot of like anti-open sexual hate towards some people on Twitter. So I made a poll, and it got over 2,900 votes, okay? About whether or not it's okay to be slutty. So chat, let me hear from you. Do you guys think it's okay to be slutty? Oh, Twitter definitely dogpiled on me for that. They definitely did. And I'm about to use that data to my advantage. So get fucked, Twitter. What do you guys think? Do you guys think it's okay to be slutty? We got absolutely. Only if you're responsible about it. It's your body, and I don't know. Yep. Sluttiness is okay. It's not hurting anyone. As long as you're not hurting anyone, do what you want. Okay. I think if you're responsible and having fun. Okay, so let's go over to the actual let's go over to the statistics. Let's go over to the statistics that poll pulled up. Okay, let's go over to them and actually see what real people thought about this topic. Okay, so I asked, saw some slut shaming going around here, so I'm curious, how many sexual partners should you have in your life? Okay, now the reason I asked this question purposely being agitating, purposely being dichotomic. I could have asked this question in a very easy way. I could have said like, how many sexual partners do you think you should have in your life? And I could have put the last answer as many as you feel comfortable with. And honestly, that's the right answer. Okay? The real answer to all of this thing that we're about to go down to is whatever you feel reasonably comfortable with in your life. If you feel that you only want one partner for your life and that they should be the one that your one true love and you should marry them and all that kind of stuff, if that's where you are in your life, fantastic. I disagree, but that is your life, that is your body, that's what you're doing. I fully support you, okay? If you think you should have like maybe 3 or 4 before you find, to like practice before you find the one and you actually are good at sex, stuff like that, fantastic, you do you. If you want to sleep around your entire life and have 6,000 partners and never get married, you fucking do you, whatever makes you happy. But let's see what the average Joe thought. Looking at this poll here, looking at this, I found it quite interesting. I found that 40% of people thought other people should have 3 or less partners. That means that most people, if you have more than 3 partners, and 40% of people, means that they are actually thinking that you are being, I wouldn't say toxic, but you're being unhealthy, unwell, you're doing something that you shouldn't be doing. The question was, how many partners should you have? They believe if you have more than over 4 partners, that you're doing something wrong. Okay? Now the rest of them, the 4 to 10, the 11 to 25, that was interesting. If you got about, once again, about 30% of people playing in there, and I honestly group these two together. If you got 4 to 10, there's not much difference between 10 and 14. Like, I feel as a reasonable person, if you have 10 sexual partners and you have 15 sexual partners, I feel like cognitively there's not much of a difference. I kind of group these two together, and they're just like, yeah, you know what, in the lifetime, about 4 to 25, that's probably what you're going to end up with, right? Just through natural causes. And I kind of actually group them up with the 25 plusers of like anybody that did over 4 to 10. In my opinion, it's just like, yeah, you know what? You do you, whatever makes you happy. It's the ones that said 3 or less that I'm interested in, because that's what they said you should have. Okay? It's not that, they believed that you could have any number in the world. Those are the ones that are like doing 4 to 10, 11, 25, 25 plus. Those are the people that believe you could have as many as you want, kind of thing. The ones that said 3 or less are judging you. The ones that said 3 or less are being like, hey, if you have more sex than 3 people, I'm going to judge you for it. And that's what I was seeing going on Twitter, that there would be a group of people that were going around and attacking people that were openly slutty whereas about 60% were like, no, they can live their life. So this is where the fandom's at about right now. About 60% of the fandom, by data, is supporting you doing what you want, living how you live, and whether or not you have 100 partners or less, doesn't matter. But then you have about 40% of people that will judge you for it. That's what I see from this data. Chat, maybe I'm off put. Maybe I'm not on the level here. What do you guys think about this? What do you guys think about these numbers? I'm going to actually reach out now. That is my analysis of what those numbers mean. And then I'm going to get into how I actually feel. But what do you guys think about those numbers? I've only had 3 my whole life. So the question wasn't how many partners you've had in your life. The question was how many you should have. I just have friends with benefits. Good. What you guys, okay, let me hear your opinions. Type it out. Let me hear your opinions on what you feel that data meant. I ate my boyfriend. I think as long as no one's delivery hurts anyone, each person to their own person. Personally, I don't have the capacity, as I'm thinking about it right now, to have more than 5 in my life. I think that varies between people. I expected more freedom of answers of that. I've been with 4 million people. I feel a high percentage of the low number has to do with the strict family morals that pass on to others. I agree. Okay, so whatchamacallit? Trudeau. I think you hit the nail on the head. I feel that a lot of people coming from both Canada and the United States actually grow up with these like core family Christian values, stuff like that. That is actually where that's coming from. Because guess what, guys? This wolf right here, I used to think you should not have sex until marriage. Straight up. I used to think you should not have sex into marriage. When I was like, I would say 14, I was a strict believer of not having sex until marriage. And then I got into a relationship, and until I got into a relationship, I did not have sex with anybody else. And then once I was in that relationship, I loosened up and I had sex with that relationship. But that relationship lasted for 10 years, and they became my fiance and all this kind of stuff. I stuck true to my gun of not having sex with any other partner outside the one that I intended to marry. Okay? And then after that marriage kind of broke apart, it kind of broke that magic for me. It kind of broke that headspace that like, oh, okay, well, that magic, that rule, that set, it doesn't cover this. What happens when the one that you aspire to, the one that you have saved yourself to, what happens when that falls apart? Okay? So after that point, I kind of stuck to my guns that, okay, I'm only going to have sex with like core relationship people that I get really, really deep with, stuff like that, right? And that happened for one person after that. And I had a relationship with it. It was good. But I found because I was tying my sex life so tight to my love and my love life, stuff like that the previous wounds of the person before that was actually being projected onto the new person because I was tying love ties to love ties, and it was getting messy. Okay? So then as a person, I grew. As a person, I evolved. And I'm like, okay, I have to separate my sex life from my love life while my love life heals. Okay? So I did that a little bit. And I found a friend of mine who helped me through that. And this friend of mine, he's very slutty. Like, I mean, we're talking 60 plus body count in like the last like 2 to 3 years, okay? Like, they're out there, they're having fun, and I love the shit out of this guy, okay? And they actually kind of helped me see the light. And funnily enough, it wasn't until a day when I met up for a hookup. I never done it before. I was in a soft headspace, a lot of things had happened, and I just met up with this random guy, and we just had fun. There was no emotional attachment, no promises of relationship afterwards. Everything was like on the table that nothing was going to come from this afterwards. And it was very freeing. After experiencing that and just the freedom of that. Yeah, after experiencing like that level of freedom, I explored more and explored more. And now I'm extremely happy, and like my sex life is completely separate from my love life, and I can actually go out and just have fun with my sex life, and my sex life has become so much better the sluttier I've gone. Now, I am very careful about this. Anybody that comes into my life, they're tested preemptively. Anybody that I interact with, I need to know their background of like medical stuff. I get myself tested every once in a while, just make sure everything's all good. If you stay safe, if you stay happy, and you make sure that everybody's on the same page, you're not interrupting other people's relationships, you're not trying to steal somebody else's boyfriend or girlfriend just to have a fun time. If you play safe and you play the game right, I feel that it does not matter whether or not you're extremely slutty or whatchamacallit, very, very conservative, as long as you're happy and you're not judging others' happiness based on that. Because I've been on both sides. I was happy being monogamous. I was happy being the one sex until marriage person. And I'm also extremely happy with being slutty as hell. They were both valid, and they were both great ways to have your life. As long as you're not judging the other, I feel that you're okay. What do you think, chat?
Emotional damage.
I agree, agreed. Do we have anybody in the chat that disagrees? I'd actually really like to hear somebody from the chat that disagrees. Because having a disagreement will actually cause a conversation. I couldn't agree with you more. Shit. Again, based. Man, I wish I could emotional damage on YouTube. You can on Twitch. Perfect explanation, agreed. Gotcha. Joined and heard life advice. Hell yeah. Fair enough.
Hey girl, you want to see my hot werewolf? Or hey girl, you want to see my minotaur? It might be single, but it's a clubber. Oh hey girl, it's hot and musky and hasn't showered in weeks. You want to see my werewolf? In the moonlight it changes. It gets hairier. Oh god, in the moonlight it gets hairier. Oh no. Oh, you need this one needs the Manscaped 3.0. This one needs the Manscaped 3.0.